I haven't done a talk on the art of learning in quite some time. It's actually been since probably 2014 that I did one, maybe 2015 online. Most of my videos lately have been about either mathematics, statistics, research, or about skiing. Today I just want to do a real quick catch up about what life's been like in the past year. And I think that involves, of course, a lot of learning opportunities. First of all, I love learning. That's, to me, it's my passion. One may say, well, learning what? And I say, just learning. Learning is amazing. It's addictive. Every time I have an opportunity to learn something new, I just get so excited and I tackle it and I look for feedback. I'm not focused as much on, this is the weird part, I'm not an outcome-oriented person. I'm more of a process-oriented person. What that means is I enjoy the process itself and I seek reward in development through the process. The person who's outcome-oriented looks just for the final result. The problem with that is the result can be success or failure. It's binary. When one looks at the process, there's many opportunities for success and failure, and they become smaller and smaller in terms of scope. With that, the opportunity for success is much greater. But one has to understand how to define success from that perspective. Let's take something like skiing. If I engage in a ski race, because I'm not very good at that. Honestly, I'm terrible at it. I've been skiing for about 10 years now, and training with teachers for maybe about 5 years now, where I've been getting lessons. And so it's been something that's been slow in development. But if I focus, let's say I entered an event and I'm competing, if you can call it that, against people who are been skiing since they're 5 and maybe you're 50 or 60 years old. There's no chance for me to be successful against them. So if I judged my happiness on winning a race, I would be very sad and I wouldn't want to participate in the sport. Instead, what I do is I focus on the minute facets of the skill development. Like, for instance, can I improve my edge angles when I'm skiing? So tilting my skis more. Can I improve my ability to make a good turn? Can I improve my balance? Can I improve my use of my poles, etc.? So it's all these little things that I look at. So if during a specific run I notice that I improve one little facet of that, even a little bit, I feel successful. Similarly, playing a sport like tennis, which I enjoy playing, if I'm focusing on improving my forehand, I could judge it from an outcome orientation, like I hit a winner versus I don't hit a winner, or I can judge it from the skill development, the process, right? Orientation, where I'm looking at how well did I take my racket back? Did I take it back in the correct way? Like I perhaps I'm a righty, so perhaps I'm using my left hand to point at the ball as I'm rotating my upper body in the right position, etc. Maybe this time I'm looking to make sure that I have my racket in the correct position ready to strike the ball so I can drop it and get underneath the ball or something like that. Focusing on those minute facets of the task provide me with many more rewarding opportunities, and better yet is they increase the likelihood that I will be successful from an outcome-oriented position. Like if I'm looking at my backswing in tennis, if I can get underneath the ball, I'll generate more topspin, right? So and if I'm prepared, I can actually meet the ball earlier than later. In skiing, if I make sure that I'm tilting my skis to a high enough angle, I'll actually be able to bend my ski better in the turn and not skid as much. Maybe I'll just be able to grip the snow better. So it's all these little things that I focus on that promote improvement down the line. Yeah, here I just was looking for a background to have since I'm just talking, and I put up my two textbooks. One is a statistics textbook. See, statistics is a course where individuals focus on the outcome, and I teach in a department in a school of nursing, and our students need to succeed in order to continue their career. So to them, statistics is often a roadblock or a barrier to their career. And of course, I don't look at it that way because I love statistics and I love the math involved in it. Looking at it as a barrier focuses one on success versus failure or the outcome. But to master something extremely complicated like statistics that has so many levels to it requires one taking on a process orientation. One has to be able to understand the concepts underlying the statistics they use and the equations they use and the computer programming and all those statistical tests that one calculates using computer programs like SPSS or SAS or whatever program you use or R. One has to understand it deeply. So taking time to focus on the process of learning, the process of understanding what underlies these statistical tests, rather than looking at whether I pass or fail or get an A or a B in the course, would actually improves one's ability to actually get that good grade. I tell people all the time, if you focus on the grade, you're less likely to get a good grade than if you just focus on the process. So if you focus on the process, you'll learn more, you'll end up doing better, and the grades will come. But it's really hard to get people to think that way because our society is so outcome versus process oriented. I mean, if you look at my textbook here in the beginning, I mentioned how the first chapter I talk about the art of learning. That's unique to my writing style. When I wrote this textbook, and I also wrote this research methods textbook, in both cases I said, you know what, the way textbooks are written now, the way they're written is flawed. It's flawed because there's an equation for writing the book. You have to follow the same formula that everybody else does, cover the exact same material. And I say, yeah, I'm going to cover them, but I don't like that equation. I want to do it my way. What I'm going to do instead is I'm going to start every book with chapters on how to learn, because students don't know how to learn, how to combat anxiety, especially in statistics. Students are scared of numbers. It's like my favorite Greek letter sigma is going to attack somebody and hurt them. So instead, what you have to do is you have to take time to teach them how to learn, and so that's what I did. And then I incorporated a lot of real-world examples in them. Obviously, I like skiing, so you can see that incorporated skiing shows on my covers. But what I did there was I focused more on the learning, because if you understand how to learn, you understand to focus on the process rather than the outcome, you will do better. You'll get all the goals that you want. So the outcomes will come, but only if you learn how to focus on the process. I just want to go over one other thing when it comes to skiing. I actually incorporate this where is it? Carv app in skiing because I love feedback. One thing I've learned about individuals is that people don't like feedback, especially when the feedback is negative. They like positive feedback, but they don't like negative feedback. In a sport like skiing, it's really hard to get feedback because, first of all, you're moving pretty fast, and people have to keep up with you and watch you, and they can't. It's really hard for people to look at you while they're skiing and you're skiing, but they can. A good pro can do that. So I was looking for some way to get feedback, and obviously doing private lessons is expensive. They range from $170 maybe to $300 an hour. So I mean, you're talking about a lot of money for private lessons. So I found this app online called the Carv app, which allows one to monitor one's performance. You wear these inserts in your boots, and then I don't know if there's any pictures here of the inserts, but with the inserts, you have you get this feedback, really cool feedback, right? Like here's an example of a ski IQ. So these inserts have like lots of little sensors, and then you attach a mini unit to the boots, right? So the inserts have the sensors. There's a wire that comes out of the boot from the foot pad with the sensors in it, and then you attach it to this little unit. And then using this Carv app, you can get feedback on how well you're doing in terms of balance, edging, pressure, and rotation. I love this thing so much. In addition, it gives you these training goals, your personalized focus areas. Like, you didn't do really great in edge angle. This guy looks pretty awesome here, right? Edge angle's 49 degrees. That looks pretty good. On a scale of 90, what can I do to get closer to 90, right? So there's this really cool feedback. And what this feedback does is it promotes one to focus on those process-oriented goals rather than the outcome. Although you could say, I want to have a score of 90, on my edge angles. Well, if, like, for instance, if you have a 49, you say, well, how about getting to a 50 and a 55, little by little? And what's really cool about this device is you also get the ability to train. Like, there's a training mode, and in the training mode, it gives you like something like balance drills. Like, one of my favorite ones is when I work on balance, fore aft, forward versus back, or fore aft plane on skiing, because you go right down the level of the ski. You look at the ski itself, you can be forward or you can go backwards. And it's saying you are sitting in your back seat. That means you're like too far back in the middle of the run. And it's so cool. So I can make that adjustment and get immediate feedback. I love this device because it gives me the feedback that I can't get otherwise. And then there's also like this free ski mode. This is the one that I use a lot, just to judge like, what's my ski IQ. Well, basically what you get is this ski IQ here. Like this, here's an example of somebody with a 120 IQ, right? You get this IQ that's based on all of these different parameters plus your own goals. Like I said, I want to be able to carve really well, so it puts more pressure on me to get it, to do better, so that I can get a higher score, because I love challenges like that. But anyway, this is a great tool if you're interested in improving your learning. And in fact, let me just open something up here for you. Just open a little Word document. If you're interested in it, you can click this link, which I'll put in the video information to buy it. If that's something that might be interesting for you, and I think you'd love it if you like to ski a lot, just like I do. And then, other than that, so that's me with skiing. It's been a great year. I spend a lot of time practicing so I can get better academically. I spend a lot of time doing good work to make sure that my students, actually, I want my students to be like me. I tell them, I don't want to sound arrogant here, but I'm a damn good learner. I think, I'm the best, because I know how to incorporate feedback. I know to listen to good feedback and throw out the bad feedback. I know what is good stuff, and I want my students to be like me. And it's so beautiful when they start talking like I do, and they say, yeah, I want to learn too. I love learning. It's like their reward centers of their brains are being stimulated. It's so cool, and I want you to be like that too. But that's my little talk for today. Have a wonderful day, and get out there and start learning.